Hey guys, it's Todd again. I just wanted to do a quick video because somebody asked me about how I selected my Inshore rods and reels and how I set mine up. So I want to take the time in this video just to show that real quick and explain how I did mine and why. So I always base my my selection on three different things. That's reliability, durability, and cost. So those are the three things that I base my purchases for rods and reels. So first and foremost, whenever I like to go fishing, it just determines how I have mine set up, for the time of the year. And right now, since it's Florida winter, I'm mainly targeting sheepshead and snapper. I'm around pylons, docks, different things like that. So that's why if you see in my videos, I'm mainly targeting sheepshead and snapper right now. So, like I said, the three reasons why I chose my rods and reels, I did a lot of research. I did a lot of research online, checking out reviews, the difference between certain rods and reels, and then, compared those with the three things that I said earlier, the reliability, the durability, and the cost. And that's how I came up with my purchases. I also, since I'm a retired military person, I also get discounts in certain places. Bass Pro Shop, I know a lot of people, shop there. I shop there because of the discounts. And they have a wide selection. And when I used to bass fish, that was always my go-to. When I was in North Carolina and Georgia, I bass fished a lot. I did quite a bit of tournament fishing, just local tournaments. So that's how I based mine. And before, I spent quite a bit on money because I was doing, local tournaments, but I was trying to win money. So I went a little bit more expensive. But right now that, I'm fishing inshore, I don't have to spend a lot of money. So I really don't. But I have to have the reliability of my rod and reel and the durability because I'm in a lot of structure and different things like that. So I need those things to, last and to work. So the other thing that I base my rods and reels on is where I fish and the types of fish that I'm after. So right now I am after, like I said, sheepshead and snapper. So that's how I selected these things. But if I'm going after snook, redfish, trout, these inshore rods and reels will also be able to handle those. So I took all those into consideration. Now, if I'm going offshore a little bit more, I may, go up in scale and in size. But for right now, this is what I'm using. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how I also have mine set up. So starting from here, these two are the rods and reels on this side that I use the most right now. Just because of where I'm fishing and where I'm targeting. So if you see me out on my videos, I'm mainly out on my kayak, but these are good as well because I can throw these in the back of my vehicle. So this first one is all of mine are Shakespeare right now. That's just what I'm using. Ugly stick. So this one is a Shakespeare Ugly Stick Elite. This is a 6'6" rod. It's a medium action with a fast tip, but this is a two-piece rod. So the reason why I chose a two-piece, this is one of the first ones that I bought, because I can just break this down, throw it in the back of my vehicle. Even if I have people in there, it breaks down in the back of my truck where I can, have people in my vehicle and don't have to worry about it, sticking out in the front. So, and it's also paired with a Penn Battle 2 2500 for this one. And all of my rods and reels right now, I'm using Spider Wire Ultra Cast Camo 20-pound braid. That's for all of them. And then I'm also using, for the leader line, is a 20-pound fluorocarbon. So that's what I'm using for that. And then I'm also, for this one, I use free lining. So I'm free lining with this one. I'm using right now a number one owner hook. And the reason why I like owners, they are very strong and they're very sharp. I just poked myself just now. and they're nice and thick. So when I do catch sheep's head, especially if I hook a bigger one, I'm able to, pull it out of structure and it's not going to bend. It has that, it's very strong. So that's my first rod that I'm using. And it's has enough backbone to, pull fish up, but it's light enough that I can cast, a crab on there. I use fiddler crabs a lot, or just, a shrimp. And so I'm just free lining those, and it's pretty good. Now this one I use probably about 80% of the time. Right now, the free lining I do with my shrimp and my crabs, but this is my main setup that I use. This is also a Shakespeare ugly stick, but this is the Inshore Select series. So this one is a 7-foot medium action rod with a fast tip. And this is also paired with a Pin Battle 2 3000. But with this one, I'm mainly using jigs so this is a bottom sweeper jig, but I also use the sheep's head jig that I have. I'll leave the information of these in the description so you can see what they, where you can purchase them. But all of my line that I use, my leader line, I attach mine to straight to the braid. I don't use swivels because if you use a swivel and you do reel up a little bit too far into your guides, it does not cast well. But when you use whatever type of knot that you use, whether I'm using an improved clinch knot with a polymer knot to attach these two, and it slips right through the guides pretty easily. And then I'm also using about 2.5 feet of leader line. So that way I start off a little bit longer. So as I get frayed, what I'll do is I'll cut a piece off, retie. I can cut another piece off, retie again before I have to retie my entire leader. So that's the reason why I do that. And then, sometimes if I'm not fishing right by the docks, or let's say I see something swirl, I'm also going to cast certain things. So that's the reason why I take 4 rods with me when I'm out on my kayak, because then if I see something splash up or something like that, and I have something plastic tied on, I usually have a shrimp or something like that tied on a swim bait. But right now I have a Cranky Crab tied on here. So I was going to use this the other day, but when I got off work, low tide, couldn't go out. So, because I wanted to hit right by this dock. But usually I'll have, like I said, a swim bait or something like that on there. So I'll be able to throw pretty quickly. So this one is an Inshore Select series as well. But this is a 7-foot medium heavy. And this one I'm using in more structure. It has a little bit more backbone to it. So like if I'm casting and I may catch a redfish or a snook, I want to be able to, get some leverage into it. So this one is also paired with a 4000 Pin Battle 2. I like pins. I like the Battle 2s. And like I said, I got them on sale. So that's the reason why I purchased these. Remember I said I get discounts. So wherever I find a discount, that's where I get. So that's what I purchased those. And then my last rod that I have right now that I use for inshore fishing is a Ugly Stick GX2. This was one of the very first ones that I purchased. And this is also a 2-piece rod. This one in the 2500 series pin with that rod and reel, that's the one I first purchased, so I can break those down, throw those quickly into my vehicle. And this one is paired with a Penn Fierce 3. So this one I'm using this is a fish finder rig or a Carolina rig. There's many names for it, but all it is, I just have a swivel off my main line with an egg sinker. This is a 1/4 ounce egg sinker. with my monofilament, fluorocarbon leader, and also a number one owner hook. I really like these owner hooks. So that's my setup for my rods and reels that I have. That's just my setup. I could go out and purchase more expensive rods and reels, but I really don't need to, because these get the job done. I haven't broken any of my rods, and I've caught some pretty decent sized fish. So that's it. I hope that helped explain how I use mine. The one thing I want to remind you of is make sure that you're buying the rods and reels for the specific water that you're fishing, meaning saltwater or freshwater. These are all freshwater rods and reels. And even though they are saltwater, these are saltwater rods and reels. Even though they're saltwater, when I get back in from a fishing trip, I always spray them down with water, so that way I can preserve my reels a little bit more. And because if you're taking a freshwater rod out to saltwater, your reel is going to get corroded, and eventually it's going to start grinding. You're going to hear it grind when you're fishing. So you want to make sure you have the proper maintenance for it as well. So like I said, I hope this helped explain, my take on why I purchased what I did. So remember to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down there so you can subscribe to my channel. And I really appreciate everybody who has subscribed, who's leaving comments and liking my videos. I really appreciate it. So once again, like my videos and share my videos with other people, especially those that are just trying to get started. I haven't been saltwater fishing, very long. It's only been a couple of years. I used to, freshwater fish a lot. That's how I started. But I'm really loving saltwater fishing now, especially now that I have a kayak, which I've had for, 7-8 months now. I'm really enjoying it. So remember, until I see you again, God bless you, God loves you, and may He keep you. Thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.